area behind us. What do we have here? Goglovo straight ahead. Shakovka to the right. Let's go for Goglovo. Why not? This is the look I'm sporting today, yep. I actually had a lot of luck this time around.
Two weeks after the party at Electro, I was back on the road. The storm had wiped the settlements off the face of the map, but most groups were already busy with rebuilding their colonies and compounds, sort of like ants scrambling to repair a knocked-over anthill. The week that had followed the wipe had been chaotic. People gunning each other down for the frantic need to take what the other had, more so now than ever, because even civilized groups needed resources to regain what was lost. Not me though. Being on the road with no static base, I'd kicked back for a time, letting other people murder each other left and right while staying comfortably away from the spotlight. This was a necessity for survival. As out of character, the chaos meant that friendly interactions would be down to a minimal. It was as if God had put the world on pause, washing away the filth and then said, "Okay, go," and then just watched as people had to toil anew and start from square one again. As for my quest, it was still ongoing, but not really active at the moment. I knew Max Hatter was out there, but he was most likely also having a tough time getting back on his feet.
Oh shit. Seems to be a lot of... Seems to be a bunch of zombies everywhere. Let's dive into a house somewhere. Yeah, that one.
A note. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'd heard about the fireflies. But who would put a note like that indoors? Unless someone had taken it and brought it up here to study it in relative safety. This someone seemed to have set up a map here as well, showing the entire country of Chernaris and all three oblasts. I speculated that whoever it was had set up temporary shelter here in preparation for a journey out of the South Zagoria region, and I silently wished that that person, whoever it was, had succeeded in their endeavor. Meanwhile, I studied the map that this person had left behind. The three oblasts were clearly marked, from right to left: South Zagoria, Central Kopek, and North Trikani, with the capital city of Novigrad on the south coast. No word had come out of there since the fall. It was theorized that the capital had been hit the worst after the zombie plague had spread, and subsequently had been demolished in napalm raids from the air. Kirovograd gave me the chills. That was the place where I'd been the closest to catching Max Hatter, where he had nurtured his homicidal cult of cannibals, these so-called 5 families of the Hatter clan. They'd made their sanctum sanctorum in an abandoned shopping mall, setting up the atrium as an inner temple devoted to some kind of pagan rite, where victims were crucified and used as a food source. I closed my eyes and tried to shake the horrifying memory. I'd failed that day. Failed in what needed to be done. I would not fail again.
Okay. Hello, anybody home? The Black Sheep Sauna. What? Really? Gift wrap paper. You know what? Let's leave these things. I don't actually need them anyway. That's good to know, though. Black Sheep Sauna. Interesting. Alright, up into the woods and ponder my next move. Fireflies.
Up on Forest Ridge, there stood a solitary radio tower which made for an excellent scouting position. I went up to have a look.
Jesus. What a nice view. Alright, let's take stock of the situation. We've got Goglovo over there. We've got Novi over there. Way in the distance over there, we can see the radio tower of Altar. Which means that Gorka is somewhere over there. Oh, is that like a campsite? I didn't even see it.
Coming back down, I decided to take a load off at the old camping ground. However, my eye spotted a sheet of paper at the benches which piqued my interest.
Oh. What's this?
This was no crumpled up newspaper from the before times. The text was fairly recently printed and concerned current events. The idea of someone actually going through the hassle of printing a newspaper in these days was as surprising as it was inspiring, even though I knew that radio broadcasts had come back to the land, so why would this be more of a shock? But an article on the page was a bit disconcerting. A duel between two people, announced as some kind of spectator sport. One man blows the other one away under pre-agreed upon conditions. And to nobody's surprise, the 506 seems to be involved.
Okay. Guess I'll keep that. But what the hell?
More senseless violence. Just what the lands needed. And the 506 was indulging in this? I didn't buy into any of this honor bullshit. Killing was killing. Did they see this as a chance to weed out some more undesirables, perhaps? I was still trying to convince myself that the 506 wasn't an unjust faction. I was convinced that any faction striving for order amid chaos must be benevolent. Yet I couldn't deny that the faction was brutal. and aimed to suppress any semblance of disorder within their territory with harsh punishments for even the slightest of offenses. But one could argue that the methods was a necessary means to an end during these trying times. Then again, I also had to acknowledge the fact that I'd heard some pretty disturbing things about them, shooting people in the back, using subterfuge to facilitate territorial annexation, actively fostering an air about them that could only be described by many willing to voice their opinions as fascist. Most of all, they seemed to be eager to solve disputes by conflict rather than with diplomacy. And now this duel was going down not just in their territory, but in the main square of their very capital city. And true to form, they would naturally have this event happen under maximum scrutiny. A public duel, the crowd reined in at the bleachers, no chaotic battle, no chance of getting it wrong. Just a one-on-one with one meeting their end that day. It was pretty ironic how they could make something like killing so clean and structured. At first, I balked at such a lavish show of brutality, the death of one to the roar of the crowds. But then I reconsidered. This would draw attention of like-minded individuals, maybe even a certain someone. I knew that he loved that sort of show, man's violence put on display. And hell, here he would have a front row seat to the killing. Against my better judgment, I decided to partake and be a witness. If nothing else, I might be able to make some new connections. As I entered Zeleno, I noticed that the 506 hadn't had time to put up any of their roadblock palisades yet. Despite this, I couldn't see any vehicles. Nevertheless, what I could see was a mob of people gathered at the central square. As I approached, I was intercepted by a sentry and once again forced to strip down. The standard 506 greeting.
You mind if you just drop your stuff? I need to just do a contraband check real quick.
Yeah, okay. Oh my god, I've been running so much. There we
You're
go.
good to go. Thank you.
No worries.
Respectful and civil for everybody's safety. With that in mind, with that said, I think everybody here can agree, no matter the outcome of tonight's duel, both men will go down as honorable men. Mr. Vadim, Mr. Justice, if there's anything you'd like to say to the people who showed up today, your friends or comrades, now's the time.
Thank you guys for coming out.
Here,
Really
boys.
appreciate it. That's really it. That's all I got to fucking say.
From what I understood, Vadim, the man in the black tracksuit, was honor-bound to challenge Justice, the 506 captain in the checker shirt, to a duel. This was to avenge his fallen friend Guy, who had been killed by Justice? I wasn't really sure about the details. I decided to look around instead. I saw no immediate familiar faces in the crowd. No Legion armbands, no Zack, no Greenie. Mostly I could see brownies, clowns, and people with armbands I had no idea who they were. They did wear wolf headdresses. They might be the wolves of Selene, though Runa had worn a blue wolf armband before, and Raven herself had taught me that many different people could wear wolves on their heads without actually being a child of the moon goddess. Attire alone didn't necessarily mean anything, and good thing too. Otherwise, the masked man to my right would be pegged as an escaped inmate from a mental asylum.
Well, prepared a little bit of a speech, something in memory of my friend Guy and the reason that we are here today. Ladies, gentlemen, comrades, rivals. Today, under these grey skies of Zelenogorsk, together, this cold, unforgiving ground, not as ordinary men, but as warriors. My heart weighs with heavy grief for the loss of my dear friend, a loyal comrade and trusted advisor. Blood that courses through my veins calls out for retribution. Today shall settle this debt with steel and fire. The shadow of history where countless battles have been fought, we stand as heirs to a legacy forged in fire and tempered by resolve. This code of the duel is etched into our very souls, and today it is our creed. The pistols that we will hold and unyielding, represent not only instruments of death, symbols of our unshakable commitment to truth and honor. My friend and confidant, Guy, was taken from us, unjustly. His memory calls out for justice. In his name, I challenge Captain Justice today, not as an act of vengeance, but as a solemn duty to honor Guy's spirit and the bonds of brotherhood that bound us together. He believed in the principles of loyalty, valor, and justice, and today I carry those principles into this fateful duel. This duel is not a celebration of violence, but a solemn reckoning. We stand here today not to glorify death, but to pay the price for the choices that we make.
It was a very moving speech, thick and heavy with platitudes about togetherness, solidarity, and affirming that this duel was about honor, not vengeance. But Vadim's pretty words about not being here to celebrate violence had me suppress an urge to roll my eyes so hard. Couldn't they see that this was futile? Violence only begets violence. It wasn't like killing someone was going to end anything. And if that someone was Justice, I was pretty sure that the 506 were not going to sit on their asses and let it stand. It was barbaric and very discordant with Vadim's speech. In fact, Vadim even showed an impressive measure of respect, which per definition encouraged a more civilized way of dealing with this, a way which wouldn't end in bloodshed. But no, this was apparently gonna happen, and it would not be the end of anything.
The world may forget our names, but it will remember this day. Let the duel begin.
Alright,
Light of justice.
way to go, Vadim. Luck, guys.
Give us the command to fire when you are ready, Mr. Trap.
Yep. You both ready?
Ready.
Three, two, one, fire!
Nice miss.
Pistols loaded.
We are loaded.
Three, two, one, fire!
It wasn't looking good for Justice. The two previous shots had resulted in sprays of blood erupting from holes in his clothes, indicating separate hits, whereas Vadim was seemingly unscathed. How Justice was still standing was a mystery.
This is where the real battle begins.
over.
Three, two, one, fire!
What?
You realize he's standing still.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Couple more steps, Justice.
Can't we just be friends?
Three, two, one, fire!
Oh!
Interesting.
Oh no!
Get back! What a
Justice.
shame. What a shame.
As the smoke cleared, Justice was the undeniable loser in the duel. The clowns were all excited and cheering for the death of what I assumed was a hated enemy. No doubt they all had personal grievances with the 506, being on the respective edges of the spectrum, order versus chaos.
Attendance is for everybody, but respect is mandatory.
My
Please
friends,
please keep it respectful amongst the crowd.
Unless
want
someone
to
right up here with me.
extend my deepest and sincerest Salutes to Mr. Justice for this duel. I will now take my leave. Good day. Be safe.
He was a brave man.
I was thinking of circling the crowd and subtly engage in conversation here and there, but as the body of Justice lay lifeless on the ground, someone made the tasteless mistake of trying to cut it up.
Hey, everyone have a good night, alright?
Nice meeting
Go
you
home
too.
safe.
Alright.
Don't cut that
I
body up.
appreciate that.
After that, the 506 started getting antsy and even aggressive. It was time to mourn one of their own, and that was an event they did not intend to have an audience at. The wanton desecration of a brother in arms was more than enough for them to want to disperse the crowd and kick us all out of Zeleno. I decided, like most other people, to leave post-haste.
Over there that got put down.
Yeah,
Thank you
everybody
for
can
the
fucking
view.
leave now. Thank you for coming.
You have a good night, alright?
Kindly get the fuck out. Get the fuck out!
Go from the Reapers.
I'll need to go fucking
Who wants to
skedaddle.
stay? Who wants to fucking stay? Who wants to fucking
Get
stay
the
around,
fuck out of here.
Who wants to fucking stay?
Fucking skedaddle.
Hey, he signed up for
Get
it,
the
guys.
fuck out!
Very well.
Having left Zeleno behind, but still being able to hear the gunshots echo out from the city, I ended up on the same heading as another and sparked up conversation just to relieve the tension of what we had just witnessed.
The hell was that all about?
Vadima did a speech before that kind of explained that his friend got killed,
Oh yeah,
and he challenged them to a duel.
that was like the 506 doing.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your name, man?
I'm Matt with the Overlook. What's your name?
Ah, my name is Ego.
Ego.
Yeah.
Nice. You with a group or no?
Nah, I'm just solo, traveling the roads.
Oh, nice.
I was wondering, like, what was going on here. I saw in the newspaper there was going to be something here.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
every
that
day
was it.
you're treated to something like that, you know?
No, yeah. It doesn't happen often, but it's fun when it does. I gotta take a minute in this tree for a second. I'll be right back.
Alright.
I tried sounding like I had enjoyed it, but in truth, it had just left me more disillusioned about humanity in general and the 506 in particular. I still had to wonder, why would they allow this? Why not take him into custody and give him the right of due process? Duels harkened back to times when people carried powdered wigs and were much more into satisfaction of personal honor than a real justice system. I was so confused. Where at first I had believed the world might be moving back in the direction of civilization, now I had to open my eyes to the fact that it was not, but instead was transforming into carrying a harsher code of ethics, one in which death was more akin to an everyday consequence between people and not so much a tragedy. Had we really become so blunted to people dying?
Yo.
Alright, sorry about that.
how's it
Yo,
going?
Are they still shooting? Who's shooting over there?
I
wanna
don't
go
know.
find
I
out.
don't know.
I wanna go
I don't
find
know.
out. You know?
I think it's the
Can't win 'em
506
all.
clearing out Zeleno.
I think it was the clowns shooting their way up to the fucking
Oh, really?
mountain there. Yeah, but like 9 of them just went that way.
Jesus, alright. I thought the 506 got a little bit
Alright.
agitated when people didn't leave as well.
Yeah, well that's their thing, right? So, thanks for not blasting me, man. I'll
no
let you go
worries.
here, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, peace, brother.
Alright.
Okay, now I felt a little guilty for initially thinking he looked like an escaped mental patient. Turned out, he would act more civilized than many others. In fact, it was most likely more than you could ask for from a whole heap of people who had been in the crowd today, I'm sure. I really had to learn not to judge a book by its cover. Huh. Too bad I didn't get his name.
I was with the clowns too, like we escorted Vadim in, so they're definitely going to Lollipop Tower to go kill Vadim, which is that tower right there.
Oh, shit. What, the
Do you wanna head that way?
506?
See what's happening? Yeah, I think they just ran up the hill towards them.
Holy shit. I don't.
I'm gonna head that way. I gotta
Alright.
go back on my boys.
Okay, you do that. I don't
I
have
might
enough
die,
stam from tonight.
Yeah, it's alright, man. Take it easy. Have
Yeah,
a good
you
one, man.
too. Be careful.
Yeah, I'll see you eventually. I promise.
All right. Good luck.
You too.
Whether it was a sign of respect or the clowns mocking the death of justice, taps could be heard ringing out from the domain of the carnival, and I decided to clear out. I would have gone up with Matt to see what was happening, but again, out of character, my local time was now approaching 5 a.m., and I just couldn't do it. I decided to get myself across the border and out of the Western Free State before going to sleep, because I was expecting things to get rough in the weeks ahead. The 506 had just lost a man, and considering what I had already learned about them from others, their present mood would not inspire any charitable behavior. In fact, I suspected this would worsen the situation. I had more or less written the 506 off as potential beacons of hope for bringing back the ways of civilized times. They were big on order and rules, but they lacked in the humanitarian department. Some of the other factions might be more deserving of support. Again, my thoughts turned to the note I'd found earlier. Yeah, maybe these fireflies. They sounded like reasonable people. I decided to check them out next time I awoke.